what is coming up in April 2025 for Pisces placements? Ooh, you've got intuition and manifestation. I feel like you already know what it is that you want, whatever it is you want to change. And so I feel like what you're trying to do is, you know, really visualize it at this point, okay? Almost act as if it's already taken shape for you, okay? So that may be something you're sort of getting into the practice of, okay? Maybe utilizing different manifestation techniques, okay? Or adapting your own approach to manifesting some kind of change here, okay? But it does look like you are prioritizing that in the month of April, okay? So I do feel like if you resonate with this, that is something that you can sign to, okay? Manifesting change in your life, okay? And it does look like, again, there is a particular vision that you are holding, okay? So it's not just vague concepts, right? Like, oh, I'd like more money and I'd like a bigger house or something. Like, you're very honed in on a specific image, a specific vision that you have, right? So it could be something small, it could be something grand, okay? It doesn't matter. But either way, you are honed in on this vision. So that's cool. Tell me more about this energy then for Pisces placements. Tell me more about this for Pisces. Yeah, 8 of Cups in reverse. So I feel like, again, you may have had a situation where because it hasn't come to pass yet, you know, some people may have been like naysayers or may have made you doubt that it could happen, right? Or maybe you just feel like, you know, like maybe other people don't necessarily consign to manifestation the way you do. So you may not talk about it, okay? Or you may not talk about it as much because you feel like people won't understand where you're coming from. But it's okay. It's not for them to understand. What matters is that you understand, okay? And you understand your intention behind wanting to manifest these changes, you know? And so I don't feel like it's that you have to cut people off or close yourself off to others in order for it to come to pass. It's just maybe wiser not to speak on it right now, okay? Because you don't want anyone putting any kind of negative slant on what it is that you're trying to usher in, okay? Whatever you're trying to align your energy with, okay? Because, yeah, the last thing you need is anyone speaking negativity on something you're trying to speak life into, okay? So that would be the advice here. Again, just maybe keep it to yourself right now while you're in the process of actually manifesting it into your life, okay? Yeah, Ace of Cups, exactly. Because right now, I feel like, you know, your vibration is a really good match for what it is that you want, okay? You are acting as, you know, a vessel for it. So we talk about entering the void state when we want to align our energies with certain outcomes, situations, circumstances, whatever, and also attracting the kind of things that we want to experience. But I feel like you yourself, maybe not just entering the void state, whether that's through meditation, subliminals, you know, self-regulated frequencies, or whatever the case, whatever techniques you use. But I feel like you're actively choosing to almost like adopt the energy of the void state, like becoming the void, right? Whilst also being a container for what you want. That's what I get with the Ace of Cups. So that's very interesting. But I do feel like it's going to be very effective, okay? So rather than just trying to dip in and out of the void state, actually becoming one with the void, okay? In order to attract whatever it is that this vision encompasses, you know? Yeah, 2 of Cups. Exactly. So for some of you, it could involve another human being, okay? It could involve a significant other, someone you're already in connection with, okay? Or perhaps you are calling in love. Maybe that's part of the vision, okay? You having a particular life with a particular person, or, you know, just a significant other, right? So, but it does look like love comes into the picture in some capacity, whether, like I say, that's someone you're already in a romantic relationship with, or someone you would like to, you know, do life with, or just being open to love in general, okay? So that's very Piscean of you, but it's very sweet. Tell me more. 2 of Pentacles. Yeah, so you may feel like it hangs in the balance right now, especially involving another person. So for some of you, it may be a case of I don't know, maybe if you're not with this person, but there's someone in particular that you want to have part of this vision, then, you know, you may have to have a conversation to see where they stand, okay? If that's something that obviously means something to you, okay? For others of you, it could be a case of that you feel like maybe it's one or the other. Like you can't have whatever encompasses the rest of your vision and a connection, right? But it's not like that, right? Why are you trying to put a limitation on what you can experience? If you have a vision of yourself, like I see myself, I don't know, like living near the mountains in a beautiful home and, you know, living by a stream and, you know, sharing this house with my beloved partner, you know, and even if that's not, say, a specific person, what makes you think that you can't have that? Like, oh, maybe I'll be able to attract you know, that kind of house, you know, find a house like that, or maybe attract a job where I can afford my own land and build my own house, you know, or maybe I can attract love, you know, that kind of connection, but I can't have it all. Who said you can't have it all? You know what I mean? So with this Two of Pentacles here, it feels more like thinking you have to choose one or the other, but that's not the case, right? You don't have to put a limitation on your vision. If it involves a particular person, say you're not already in a relationship with this person, you have no idea if this person is interested in you, then yeah, you need to leave scope for who that person could be, right? But if you want to experience love in general, yes, there's no reason why you can't experience love, have a loving relationship, and the kind of life that you want to lead with that person. You know what I mean? It's not like you have to choose, you know, the type of lifestyle or the type of home and or the person. You know, you can manifest both. Why not? You know, so that's just an example, right, of what I'm getting here. So it doesn't have to be exactly that, but you get what I mean. You don't have to choose between one thing or another. You can actually attract both, okay? Yeah, exactly, because Seven of Swords, that's a form of sabotage energy, right? That's limited thinking, scarcity mindset, like, oh, I can only have this, I can only have so much of that, I can only have one thing. You know, you're putting a limitation on yourself. And that is actually counterintuitive, because remember, we got intuition here. It's counterintuitive to what you're trying to invoke, okay? So you don't want to put ceilings on your manifestations, okay? Because when you start putting caps on it, you know, you're setting parameters, very strict parameters, that makes it less likely to come to fruition, rather than if you're more open with it, okay? Because you've got to remember, right? Sometimes you can manifest something greater than you even envisioned. It's not always settling for less, you know? I actually think that kind of defeats the point in a way. So you want to be open-minded as to how that can come to pass and to what extent and shape, you know, but not put a limitation on it. That's kind of counterintuitive to the process, okay? But just know, you can invoke this vision. You can make these changes in your life, okay? So I feel like April for you guys, you're going to get serious about your manifestations, okay? Whatever it is that you want to align with, whatever you want to attract, whatever change you want to experience, okay? But the only advice here is don't put limitations on it, okay? Don't say it has to be one thing or another, okay? Just keep the vision, hold the vision as is, okay? The only thing I would say as well, like if it does involve another person, because it looks like it does, if this isn't someone you're already in union with, don't get too tunnel visioned with who that person is, all right? Because you may come to find as time passes that you end up realizing that vision or that dream, but it may not be, your person may not be that person you thought it was, okay? It doesn't always work out that way, okay? So that's where you've got to have a little bit of flexibility. But otherwise, there's no reason why you can't bring this vision to life, okay? So I hope that helps, Pisces.